We're up to the eighth parak of Derech Eretz Zuta. It starts Aleph Heavy Rach Kikoneh Ushuach Nosheves Ba. Very famous Maamer Chazal. Shows be soft like a reed. Then when the wind blows it, the whole Ruach Shetirtze. It blows in any direction it wants. It's interesting because normally it goes on to say that you shouldn't be hard like a cedar, which when the wind blows against it, since it snaps, whereas the reed bounces back. But that's not what it focuses on here. It actually focuses on the fact that it bends in every direction. Let's see what Derech Chaim says. Mudazos, it's known, Shaskos Torah, the intellect of Torah is above the intellect of man. So therefore, when a person's spirit is haughty, that he cannot tolerate that which is against his intellect, and Torah will not be accepted by him because it's above his seichel, so it's certainly not something which will be grasped by his seichel. And the Zemas here, different cautions, heavy rach, kick on that, be soft like a reed. Sharuach nel shabbos bo, when the wind blows against it, and inclines itself to the place where the wind desires it to go. So again, here it's not a question of another such like going to this, but it's a question of taking Torah wherever Torah leads you, as opposed to trying to impose your own will on Torah. No, or perhaps even to say that there is one Derech HaTorah. No, that's where the Torah teaches. Well, that's not the right way to put it. In other words, the Torah takes you, that's where you find yourself. Pace. Sheinatar miskemes ela b'mi sherucho numucha alav. So this is stresses the humility. Not the same way. Not in the same way it does elsewhere, but okay. It does bring down the humility part. I didn't see Beis before we learned the Aleph. He says, even though a person who has a coarse spirit can also learn Torah, he can expound Torah according to the principles of Rabbi Shmuel, the Midos, etc. Torah is not sustained. Mashu neged ruach sichlo. Again, going with this concept we said in Aleph, that that which goes against the spirit of his intellect, he does not sustain. So therefore, he cannot properly retain his Torah because he doesn't have he's too arrogant. He retains what he grasps and not what he transcends his grasp. Okay. Gimel, Lamalim Shal Torah L'mayim. Again, famous Chazal. Why is Torah likened to water? Lomar Chad to tell us. Ma Darko Shemaim Ena Mochim Mokum Gavoa. Water does not go up to a high place. El Mokum Nabo goes to a low place. Cain and Can Torah Miskam So Mishur Chon Mochon Love. Torah can only be sustained in a person who has a lower spirit. Says there Chaim Lama Kol Yom Mitachem Liyos Haderam Amitzad No Same Mitzad Mekabel. No matters the lack thereof can be either on account of the giver or the recipient. First, it explains that there is sometimes the Torah cannot be grasped because of the recipient. Anybody else have a low spirit and the Torah will not be sustained within him. But now it says the reason why being lacking beside nosin on account of the giver. That's a different like the water. Like it says, all those who are thirsty go to water. The water only goes to the low place. Kachi in Torah, which is in this place the giver, not a Kosh Baruch Hu. The Torah gives itself. It's not a lechs miskemes alum dav. It doesn't go to people who learn it. Unless it's somebody who has a low spirit. It's possible to say that's explained it based on their statements. In terms of awakening from below, awakening from above. That person doesn't have a lower spirit. He doesn't have the Yisarus L'Sato, arousal from below to prepare himself to receive Torah. So Torah can't be sustained within him. Which is where it only goes to low place, which which is a place which is prepared and designated for them. So the Torah can only stay in a place which is prepared and designated for them, which is a low spiritual, a person who arouses himself from below, and for that purpose. It sounds like he's using the Sati, the way he's using them. I don't think this could be the case, but the Sati means a person who wakes up from a low point, as opposed to a person who wakes up from a high point, but that's not usually it's understood. Susa is from mankind or a person. Susa is from HaKadosh Baruch Hu and comes down. Not clear what he means exactly here. Probably the second way is the work eventually way. This is stuff from ugliness, the same which is similar to ugly. It says something which is the ugly, even though it doesn't have a specific sin attached to it. Actually, mechor is just disgusting. I mean, that which is similar to disgusting or ugly. Even though it's not ugly, it's mechor, it just looks like ugly. Karaz domeh in yonah mistameh, such as because the word domeh means something which has some thing in common with the thing to which it's likened. Mali and Zul, also something like the thing which is likened. Let's go to Chazal say mishmeres make a watch for a watch. Two fences around any doraisas. Even though we're normally saying zelik zera, but I guess it's the fence and the mishmira of the fence. This yourself from that which the siog echad. And something which is similar to it. Who siog sheni? That is the second siog, the second boundary. Yeah. Okay. V'karov l'daberov, get close. L'daram iskabel, there's something which is acceptable or accepted. Chodemlo, and everything which is similar there too. The Chaim says, the Chaim says, "Karov akrave, bring it close, self close. L'chol davar miskabel v'noah." Anything which is accepted and is pleasant. The chol davar misdamelin miskabel. Anything which is like something which is accepted and pleasant. I am a friend to all those who are God fearing. Be careful about people who counsel you according to their derech, not according to your derech. It says here in Vav, there's some things which are good for one person, and bad for another person. It's also for another person. Therefore, or the person giving the counsel has to look at the characteristic of the person receiving the counsel. To understanding if this is the right path for the person giving the counsel to take. It's good for the person giving the counsel. Maybe it's not good for the person receiving the counsel based on his characteristics. But somebody gives counsel indeed according to his own derech, not based character of the person who's asking for the advice. That's not considered to be a true and trustworthy eitzah. Because it's for the close to the derech of the yoetz, not the derech of the noatz. Yeah. Okay. Next. Very famous statement. Anybody who's willing to forego his midos, his all sins are forgiven. Shemar says, "No say avam b'fer pesha." God, somebody who carries the iniquity, God carries iniquity, and he glosses over the crime. Mio ver pesha, two minutes Kosh Baruch Hu glosses over the iniquity. The mission no say avam, somebody who's willing to bear the sin of somebody else against him. The Chaim says has already been explained. Chomer does of Mavur Kavasayim, but gives himself to a shor v'chein shas seches derech eretz. The mino say avon, to whom does the Kosh Baruch Hu bear sin. Yishovar pesha is somebody who was willing to forego crime. The opposite of what it says here. ונראה שמכוון מהפך הגירה ז"ל מווילנה הגרס למי שעובר הפשע למי שנושא על עוון. So the Gemara changes the girsa that to what it says over here in Derech Eretz Zuta. To whom has Hashem forego their crimes to somebody who bears sins. It's a good point. The beginning of the statement is that Kodesh Baruch Hu's Mavir Pshav. He was willing to forego his crimes. So therefore, that should be going on the Kodesh Baruch Hu. To the Hashem gloss over. Because if it's going to the version in the Shas, she said to him, you to gloss over all his sins. Elsewhere he writes more about this. There's a lot about eitzos here, but I think we should have to see right now. So I think we will stop here for today. Hope to come. It's Nabel Di Torah Ches in the Derech